The great Bambino made his way to MLB The Show last year. I don't know if you can top that. Babe Ruth is iconic. Recently, MLB The Show dropped their first gameplay trailer of the year, and in that trailer, we got Willie Mays, Christy Mathewson, Rob Dibble, and Jason Kendall all confirmed for MLB The Show 19. And all while Willie Mays is a great addition to the game, he's right up there with the likes of Babe Ruth and Ken Griffey Jr. and all the great legends we've added to the roster the last couple of seasons. There are still a ton of great legendary players that we need in the game, and today I'm going to give you my top 10 legends that San Diego Studios needs to add to this game. So if you're watching Sony and San Diego Studios, my guys down there in Cali, I need you to take some serious consideration into these guys. Let's get the top 10 started, but before we do that, let's talk about an honorable mention. We're gonna do an honorable mention for the steroid era. 3 guys from the steroid era, one of which has technically been in the game before. You know him as Reggie Stocker, Barry Bonds. I would love to have him back, even if it's under an alias. And the other 2 guys are Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa. Now, the reason I'm doing these guys as an honorable mention is because I understand the chaos that surrounds these guys. You got corked bats and steroids, and it's crazy. But with that said, the steroid era may have been the most popular time in the history of baseball. So no matter how you feel about these guys, if it's possible to get them on the game, I think it would do great with getting more people picking up the game. Babe Ruth was a huge draw last year. Getting the steroid era in the game will always be a big draw. So let's get our top 10 started. I'm gonna give you 5 bats. I'm gonna give you 5 arms. Let's start with the pitchers. The first guy I wanna talk about, rest in peace, new Hall of Famer, my man, Doc Holliday. Roy Halladay is officially a part of Cooperstown after this past season's Hall of Fame ballot. Maybe the best pitcher of his generation. The 2010 version of Roy Halladay would be the card I would like to see in the game most. This was his Cy Young season with the Philadelphia Phillies. He pitched 250 innings, an ERA of 2.44, 219 strikeouts, just 30 walks, 9 complete games, and 4 complete game shutouts. Now, if you've ever watched Roy Halladay pitch, he was masterful. Everything he tossed had serious movement. He could move pitches in, out, up, down to both righties and lefties. He worked every corner of the plate to any hitter he wanted. He was a wizard. There's a reason he was a first ballot Hall of Famer. We're actually gonna get through these first 3 guys pretty quick because they're on the thumbnail and you guys already know about them. Randy Johnson. Randy Johnson may not be just the most dominant left-handed pitcher of all time. He may be the most dominant pitcher of all time, period. He was the most uncomfortable at bat for lefty-lefty ever. No left-handed hitter enjoyed getting in the box against Randy Johnson. This guy could turn it up to the high 90s, and he had a slider that would start at your face and fall off the plate. Randy Johnson would be incredible for MLB The Show. And the thing about Randy is he's got 5 or 6 seasons that you could look at for a legitimate diamond on the game. I'm going to talk about 1999 with the Arizona Diamondbacks. 271 innings, 364 strikeouts, 12 complete games. In those 271 innings, he only gave up 207 hits in total. And to the 9 guys he hit, I'm sorry about your luck. Last but not least, out of these thumbnail players, Pedro Martinez. Now, there's 2 seasons you could consider for Pedro, 97 with Montreal and 1999 with Boston. Now, don't get me wrong here. There are plenty of seasons outside of that where you could put really good cards in the game. But for the best version of Pedro, I think you're probably going to get 97 Montreal or 99 Boston. With Montreal, he had a 1.9 ERA, 13 complete games, 305 strikeouts over 241 innings. And in 99 with Boston, he had a 2.07 ERA, only 5 complete games, but he did have 313 strikeouts in 213 innings, just 160 hits on the season. Insanity. 2 more pitchers before we get on to the hitters, because the hitters are the fun part. We're actually going to go with 2 Atlanta Braves. 1, Greg Maddux. There are some ridiculous stats on this dude in the history of baseball. I mean, look at this. He faced 20,421 batters in his career and only got to a 3-0 count 310 times. And on more than half of those, they were intentional walks. That's insanity. Much like Roy Halladay, this guy pitched with just the utmost precision and surgical. He was amazing. He could put any pitch he wanted in his repertoire anywhere he wanted at any point in time. 1994 and 1995, he had virtually the same season in back-to-back years. 1.56 ERA in 94, 1.63 ERA in 95. Pitched more than 200 innings in both of those seasons. And while he was never overpowering in the strikeout department, he was at 156 and 181 respectively. He was also a guy that would probably top out in the 25 to 30 walk range for the season, and that's including intentional. So he never gave you a free pass. It was very difficult to hit, located, wizardry, had a lot of Hall of Famers around them that they fed off each other. That Atlanta Braves rotation back in the day, they fed off of each other. And we're gonna go right into one of his teammates, John Smoltz. Now, Smoltz is a guy that was an elite pitcher both as a starter and as a reliever. He has multiple 40 save seasons, a 55 save season, and as a starter, he was a Cy Young winner. In his Cy Young season of 1996, he had a 2.4 ERA, pitched 253 innings, had 276 strikeouts. John Smoltz rounds out my top 5 pitchers I want to see in MLB The Show 19. Let's talk about the hitters. First and foremost, Roberto Clemente. I don't need to talk too much about Roberto Clemente. You know all about him. Tragic ending to his life and his career, but just one of the more impactful players and people that the game of baseball has ever had represent them. A name and a person that has withstood time, and we will always remember what he did for the game. Roberto Clemente would be a big draw for the game. I would love to play with him. Next up, my guy Manny Ramirez. Now, we probably could have tossed him in the honorable mention section because he was kind of around in that steroid situation back in the day, but he doesn't really get thrown to the fire the way that the other guys did. So Manny Ramirez, listen to this 1999 season with Cleveland. He had 44 home runs on a .333 batting average. He had 165 RBIs. He had more RBIs than games played. First of all, he only played in 147 games that year, so he missed 2 weeks worth of baseball and had 165 RBIs, 1.1 OPS. Was third in the MVP vote, was an all-star, silver slugger. Manny Ramirez, one of the all-time greats. 3 more to go. Let's talk about Alfonso Soriano. Alfonso had 7 seasons with 30 or more home runs. And in his younger days, when he first bursted onto the scene with the Yankees, he did it all. 39 homers, 41 stolen bases, 102 RBIs, 300 batting average, 209 hits, 880 OPS. The 26-year-old Alfonso Soriano that finished third in the MVP voting. Just his second year in the league. I would love to see a diamond 2002 Alfonso Soriano with the Yankees. 2 more. My man Craig Biggio. Craig Biggio did end up making it into the Hall of Fame. Second base is a very light position every year in Diamond Dynasty. We're always playing guys out of position at second base or using power hitters with a second base secondary position at second because we're trying to get power at second base. Craig Biggio was a guy who had a lot of extra base hits. We're going to talk about his 1997 season with Houston. He batted .309, 22 home runs, 37 doubles, 8 triples. So that wouldn't be off the wall power, but it would be respectable power. You could put that power in the 70s. He had a .916 OPS, that .309 batting average like I mentioned, and his on-base percentage was .415. 47 stolen bases, so you can give him some speed. Didn't strike out a ton. This guy won a Gold Glove, Silver Slugger, All-Star, and was 4th in the MVP voting for 1997. I think Biggio would be a great add. Kind of tired of seeing boosted up Mookie Betts or postseason Steve Pearce on second base, and I think that all comes down to the fact that there just aren't very many good, usable second basemen in the game. Craig Biggio would be a great addition to the game. And last but not least, I need Hank Aaron. A lot of people consider him the real home run king, but 755 homers over his career. The last 2 years, MLB The Show has released their first gameplay trailer on February 5th. February 5th happens to be Hank Aaron's birthday. So every year when that gameplay trailer is about to come out, people speculate that Hank Aaron's going to be in the game. Oh, they're dropping the trailer on his birthday? That's just a weird coincidence. But I would really, really like to see Hank Aaron in the game. Here's an interesting stat on Hank Aaron, right? He had 755 homers in his career. He never hit more than 44 in a season. Hank Aaron had 13,941 at-bats over his career. Longevity, durability, consistency. Hank Aaron received MVP votes in 19 individual seasons. He won the MVP in 1957 when he hit 44 home runs with 132 RBIs and a 322 batting average. If 125 stats are coming back for MLB 19, if that's going to be a thing that stays in Diamond Dynasty, this is a card that will have plus 100 everywhere. You're going to have to sacrifice some fielding most likely, but Hank Aaron's the kind of bat in the game that could be super cheese, but also extremely fun to play with and probably well worth the grind. Hank Aaron's the kind of guy that I will sit down and grind just to have his card in my collection, even if I don't end up liking him. So that's going to do it for my top 10 legends. But what about you? Who do you want to see in the game? Who's your hometown team? What unsung heroes don't get enough credit from your favorite baseball team that you would love to see on the game? Comment down below. Make sure you're following me on both Twitter and Instagram. The links are in the description. I also have a public Discord server. The link is down there with my Twitter and my Instagram. It's pretty much just a big group chat with the entire community. I update the Discord server whenever I post YouTube videos, whenever I go live on Twitch, chat with you guys about sports. It's a lot of fun over there. So come join it if you have time. Thanks for watching again, guys. I hope you enjoyed. MLB The Show 19 is going to be a great game, and I hope we can get some of these legends up in there. Everything you need to know about MLB The Show 19 right now. The new game comes out in a month. We just had our first gameplay trailer today. We had a GameStop video yesterday. We have our new developer stream schedule that has been announced. We're going to break that down. In this video, we're going to talk about the new Diamond Dynasty content. We're going to talk about the Road to the Show clips. New confirmed legends that are in the game. We'll cover the pre-order bonus.